So I got to Hungary in December of 2012. And the day that we got there, my mission president told me, oh, this is the first day it snowed. And I thought, oh, great, you know, ready for a harsh winter, because I'd heard about it. And being from California, I am not very accustomed to such weather, nor am I necessarily a big fan of it. So I remember that first night even, it had been snowing and it didn't stop snowing, and it was cold. And I thought, oh my goodness, I am in for a long winter. And that first winter was so cold. And we had people telling us, this is the coldest winter in 50 years. And I thought, oh my goodness, well, lucky me. I get to be here at this time, but it was fine. I remember getting there though, I hadn't had boots yet. I just had my flats that I was wearing with my skirt, and I would get these looks from Hungarians, just, you know, kind of, you could tell they were thinking, what is she doing? Oh my goodness, she's gonna freeze. And we'd have older ladies tell us, you know, you are gonna freeze. You need to put some boots on. I thought, okay, you know, I'm gonna get some. It'll be okay. But I just remember being so cold, colder than I'd ever been in my whole life that winter. Sometimes I would, you know, layer on stockings and leggings, and then I finally did get boots. So I had my boots, and then I one time wore 2 skirts because the wind would blow and it would just chill me to the bone, I felt. And so I remember wearing 2 skirts one time, and then, you know, this big puffy jacket all the time, but it kept me relatively warm. So if you go to Hungary, prepare for cold winters, and lots of snow. But then again, the second winter that I was there, this past winter, it wasn't nearly as harsh. And so maybe they were right, and it really was just the coldest winter in 50 something years. Yeah. So I just remember being very cold that first winter, probably colder than I'd ever been in my life. But then the summers, on the other hand, get really hot. And I think I was also in one of the cities that gets the hottest in the summer for the one summer that I was there. And it gets to be midsummer and you forget what it's like to not be sweating. And it's just so hot, and it's pretty humid, and so it's very wet in the summer. And yeah, I remember just sunscreen every day. I think I was permanently sunburned during the summer and never not sweating. Like you'd get out of the shower in the morning before you dry off. It would just be sweating again, and it's something you just get used to. Also because our apartment didn't have air conditioning, and so my companion and I, we had one fan in the apartment that followed us wherever we went. We would go eat breakfast in the kitchen and the fan would come, and then we'd go have our studies in the family room, and the fan was always with us, and then we'd bring it into our room at night. And it was really hot, but it was okay because I just remembered the cold winter that I had before, and I thought, okay, I'll take this over the cold. But then toward the end of summer, I just thought, okay, maybe I'm ready for the cold again. But the second winter I was there, it wasn't as harsh as the first winter. It was definitely cold. You do definitely need to be prepared for cold weather, but it wasn't quite so harsh. I do remember a couple nights in a new apartment, our heater didn't work though. And so my companion, I slept in my big floor length, puffy, furry coat, and my companion on top of her blankets just put all of the clothes that she owned. We had just gotten into that apartment, so we hadn't unpacked or anything, and she just dumped all of her clothes on top of her, and because it was just so cold, and we thought, oh my goodness, how are we going to do this? But then luckily a couple days afterward, our heat got working and things were okay. So definitely if you do go to Hungary, be prepared for some hot summers and some cold winters. But it's an adventure just like everything else.